Why didn't Florida law enforcement check his immigration status at the scene of the accident? Why was he allowed to go back to California?
Well, a couple things. I think one is the witnesses were dead. So you had 3 witnesses that were dead, killed in the crash. You have Singh and then his passenger, neither of whom spoke English. So you have a crash scene. It wasn't obvious to the troopers at the time that there was a criminal offense that had been committed. And so they obviously had to clear the road to make sure everyone was in. But they understood this guy. They had his information. They did what was right. They conducted an investigation. They got the video. And then clearly it was a situation where there was probable cause that a crime had been committed. We were able to do the extradition, and it was fine. But if you had someone that had survived, then you may have been able to get probable cause at the scene. As it is, the witnesses were dead, and so the troopers had to rely on getting the video, which obviously wasn't apparent. Now, we did do an announcement. The Attorney General did an announcement in Bay County. They were able to nab some folks. We are looking at, with these weigh stations, to be able. Now, it's tricky because we as a state don't have access to the immigration information, right? So if DHS gave it to us, if it's California license, we don't recognize California licenses granted to illegal aliens. If you could do a spot check, we'll absolutely do that. I think what they're at least able to do, though, is ensure that the drivers coming through are able to read and understand English, because this guy couldn't speak English. And you guys have all seen these roads where you'll go, these are busy highways, and there'll be little gaps in them, for official use only or this or that. It is not meant for motorists to just do a U-turn. It is certainly not meant for a semi-truck to do an abrupt U-turn. And so I don't think he knew what was going on. It was reckless disregard for the safety of other people. And he tries to do this abrupt U-turn, and that other car didn't have a chance. That other car didn't have a chance. So, and I know the Attorney General is asking the Trump administration to consider pausing CDL programs in California and Washington State, because first of all, you're not allowed to issue a CDL to somebody who is not in this country legally. You're not allowed to issue a CDL to somebody who is not capable of understanding traffic signs and have an ability to communicate, and yet they seem to do that without much pushback. That creates dangers for other people. Obviously, I blame, California's a sanctuary state. Their problems spill over to the rest of the country, as we're seeing. This guy came illegally, and he went to California, and he went to sanctuary jurisdictions. So that's just what happens. So yes, that's a huge problem. The company is at fault here too, because if you're running a company like this, you should know whether your drivers are capable of handling a vehicle of that magnitude. That is, if somebody's not able to do it, you're putting a lot of people's lives in jeopardy. The federal government took away the license, the business license from that company. I mean, obviously, there's probably going to be additional stuff that happens there, but certainly, I think we're looking at: are there any ability for us to hold the company accountable at the state level in addition to the federal level? Because I think that you need to do it. But this driver, he made the decision to get behind the wheel of that thing, knowing that he was not able to fully understand his surroundings and fully understand what was on the road. And that created a massive hazard, and it resulted in the death of 3 people. I was asked the other day, like, oh, there's a bunch of people like in foreign countries that are signing a thing to say basically, go lenient on him, like he didn't intend, to kill these folks. Well, I was like, well, he intended to get behind the wheel knowing that he didn't have the full capacity to be able to handle that vehicle. He was driving it around knowing that he was not well situated to do that. He attempted a very reckless U-turn with a massive truck, knowing how very dangerous that is. So the notion that somehow this guy wasn't really at fault, that he was they almost portraying him as like a victim of what happened here. You know, I don't buy that. This guy knew what he was doing, and you know, did he intend to do a clean U-turn and not run into anybody or have anyone run into him? Yeah, that was probably the intent, but the reality is it was a reckless disregard for the safety of others to do what he did, and you know, it's an avoidable tragedy, is what it is.